Good morning and welcome to Pillow. My name is Sarah and this is our CIO Alpha Bar. Today we want to talk about the US midterm election impact on the market. And if you like the message, please help us share and click like. So Alpha, what would be the impact from yesterday and probably until today result of the midterm US election?
Thank you, Sarah, and good morning, everyone. So, as you know, there's a political cycle in the U.S. Every 2 years you have congressional elections, and every 4 years you have presidential elections. So yesterday were the midterm, the congressional midterm elections in the U.S. The way we think about the impacts I think, is one is a domestic impact, and the other one is a global impact. And we can go a bit more in detail. Domestically, we think there are two broad impacts. One is it brings clarity. So it's a positive because it removes uncertainty from the market. It removes political uncertainty from the market. And the clarity here is that basically nothing gets done in Washington now because the government is now split. We got a presidential Democratic president and probably a House Republican. And it's not clear yet which way the Senate will go, but it doesn't matter as long as one of the chambers is held by the opposite party, then they can block the presidential agenda.
So it is funny here, right, Alpha? Nothing get done on in US. It's actually the market did not hate it. Actually, there is a positive impact. And nothing get done, but at least have some clarity that nothing get done. So market like clarity.
That's right. The market doesn't like uncertainty. So basically now it's almost certain that nothing will get done. even though the Republicans and the Democrats agree on certain things. For example, infrastructure spending or construction or utility spending. But either one will be loath to give the other the opportunity to brag about an achievement. So unless there's a big recession, it's probably safe bet to assume that in the next 2 years they will get nothing done in Washington from the political side. So what then happens is that fiscal policy is basically dead. So everything is left now to the monetary policy. And in terms of monetary policy, we have the Fed fighting inflation. So that's the market clarity that should be positive over the medium term here. And the Fed has told us that they will keep at it, in the words of Powell. They'll keep at it means that they will keep raising rates or keeping rate high until inflation goes down. And we actually see a path towards inflation going down, and we'll discuss that in a second.
So then let's turn to negative impact.
Yeah, so there's a slight negative impact from a domestic perspective of the elections yesterday, and just not to make it more complicated, but basically, it's not clear now who the Republican candidate to the next 2024 presidential election should be, right? Everybody assumed that it would be Donald Trump, but Ron DeSantis, who's a potential rival to Trump, did really well yesterday by winning Florida, right? So. He could harbor some ambition to run in the election in 2024, and if he does, then you have potentially DeSantis against Trump, and that could split the Republican ticket.
And so why is the negative impact? I guess this is because it's uncertainty.
It raises
right?
uncertainty, exactly. So there's now potentially higher uncertainty about the Republican candidate for the presidential election in 2024.
Okay. Now, what about global impact after this result?
Yeah, I think the global impact, when it comes to the global impact, we think about it in two ways. One is China. I think there's a large consensus, if not unanimity, among the political leaders in the U.S. They are negative. They view China in a negative way. So that's not going to change. And so from that perspective, I think the U.S. will continue to treat China harshly and to try to lower China's achievement in terms of technology. And then there's the Russia-Ukraine war. The Republicans, led by Kevin McCarthy, who's going to be the next Speaker of the House, has mentioned that we're not going to give a blank check to the Ukrainians, which means at the margin the U.S. will be less supportive of Ukraine. which means obviously at the margin more supportive or probably negotiations between Ukraine and Russia. And if that were to happen, if we find a peace deal or a negotiated settlement, then that should be positive for supply of energy, which would mean energy prices, oil prices go down, which helps inflation. And with that help on inflation, obviously the Fed will have less work to do to take inflation down, because the global geopolitics will help in that environment.
Well, thank you, Alpha. I can't wait for the world to have more peace again.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, and so if you have any question and you want to discuss more on this topic, please leave us the message. And again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Thank you.
Bye.